All right, so real quick, I just want to look at some of the or a couple of the comments that Josh Heupel made at SEC Media Days. He was asked about the growth that he's seen from Nico from year 1 to year 2. He said the bowl experience was great. He said, I'm really excited to see him grow throughout the course of the training camp this year. He's been fantastic. He was also giving updates on the health of Cam Seldon and Peyton Lewis. He said both of them are doing extremely well.
Good.
Peyton is fully integrated in everything that they're doing right now, and Cam is close. So that is really good sign for Tennessee, especially with Cam Seldon, because I think Cam Seldon is your number 2 this year if healthy. Peyton Lewis, I feel like is a guy that you're going to see against teams like UT Chat, but he's got a big upside for the future. What Nico has shown it makes Heupel believe he's ready to be a starting quarterback. Heupel just says smart, competitive, skill set. He's accurate with the football, great decision maker, and he's got a really good work ethic. He was a guy that when he was younger, he came in and he wanted to make sure that his teammates trusted him. He wasn't, even with the big NIL deal, he wasn't coming in as a big head. He wanted to make sure that he built the trust with his teammates. So fantastic.
I think the biggest thing he said right there that gave me kind of like chills is he just kind of like, look, he shrugged his shoulders. He said, he's our guy.
Yeah.
How many times do we hear Tony Vitello say that about somebody on his team? And
that's my guy.
That's my guy. And it shows me that when this staff can put that much trust into a player to have, because at that point, when he says that shows me that Nico already as a sophomore, a true sophomore, when a coach says, and he's probably a redshirt sophomore, honestly, he probably redshirted last year. When a coach says, that's my guy, and he says it with that much passion, it shows me that Nico has the leadership and the responsibility that on a 3rd and 1, if he's seeing something that he don't like, he's got the freedom to change the play already.
Yeah.
And that excites me that he's already got that type of confidence, leadership, experience, whatever you want to call it. It's not experience, but it's just the feel for the game. And the fact that he's adapting and growing that quickly really shows a lot of things for me in a good way, in a positive way, that he's going to be the guy that we need.
Yeah. And the last one I want to look at, and I want to kind of turn it into a question to you, Skylar.
Yeah,
he was asked about bringing 3 veterans to media days in Cooper Mays, Amari Thomas, and Kenyon Peely.
I love it so much.
So your answer is you love it. My question was going to be, what are your thoughts on it? Because a lot of people wanted to see the big name guys like Nico and like James Pierce Jr., those highly touted guys for Tennessee.
Well, I've got a big opinion on this, and again, I'm a fan. I'm an outsider, kind of looking into the situation. I love that he chose those guys because, one, they're highly experienced. I think they're truly there for that power T instead of a paycheck. Not saying that Nico ain't, right? He's a redshirt freshman. We always tend to bring guys that, have a lot of experience. So that I think is the reason why Nico didn't go. But also the 3 guys that he brought, did you notice how well spoken they were?
Oh, absolutely.
Very well spoken. I'm not saying that the other guys aren't. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying that I felt like he chose the 3 best guys that not only are going to be key pieces in our team this year, but he also brought 3 guys that represent the University of Tennessee in the best way possible. I think he did that. I think he did that. Look, James Pierce Jr. undoubtedly is probably the best player on the defense, but does he talk well? Does he enjoy the media? I mean, you got to think about that. Maybe James Pierce doesn't like to be in front of a microphone. So in that, why would you force him to be in front of a microphone? Now, I understand that NFL he's going to have to be, but at that point, you can kind of keep working behind the scenes with him. I don't know if that's the reason. I don't. Look, this is all hypothetical. I'm just saying the 3 guys that were there are leaders. They're experienced. They're seniors. I think the only other guy that I'd honestly wanted to be there, I'd love to see Brew. I would have loved to see Brew there.
Yeah.
A wide receiver that that has kind of same storyline. Really, he got hurt last year as Kenyon Peely. And then kind of take advantage of that. I mean, Brew, and then on the defense, man, I don't know. I think they got the right guy. Like, Kenyon Peely is the guy. Like, and then obviously Amari Thomas is the guy. He's been there forever. And I don't know, man. I think, like I said, he got the three guys with the most experience, and I think represent the University of Tennessee in the best possible way.
I totally 100% agree with you. Did you also kind of get the feel that maybe Heupel is trying to stay a little bit under the radar this year, kind of bringing those guys instead of bringing his big name guys as well? Or do you just feel that he brought the guys that best represent the university?
I think he stuck to his code or whatever. I mean, you can't break your code. Look, Nico's going to get his chance to go to media days. It's probably going to be next year.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I think he's just trying to give the guys that maybe fly under the radar, but Coach Heupel still wants them to know that, hey, you still matter as much as the next guy does to this team. So I want you to represent our university at media days. I think it's kind of one of those pitches. But you never know in that locker room. It may be nothing like that. It could be they already know that, and they just went to the – I mean, like I said, I think they were so well-spoken. I had no disagreements with who he chose. Is he trying to fly under the radar? No, because they still asked about Nico. I mean, they still asked about James Spears Jr. It didn't matter if they were there or not. But I think I just didn't think there was any reason to bring them. I think you brought the guys that you wanted to be there. They probably wanted to be there just as much, and I supported it 100%. The moment I seen the list, I was okay with it, honestly. So
I totally agree with you. So you got some big news that happened this past weekend to bring to us.
Yeah, EA college football. No, I'm joking. I mean, that was big news, but like that's not the big news. But I do want to share with you guys real quick. Did you hear about that guy that committed over the weekend? That guy. I'm talking that guy. And that is Christian Gass. Christian Gass, 4-star, number 6 overall linebacker in the 2025 class, according to On3, chooses the Volunteers over, hear me out, over Georgia, USC, and Florida. Tell me, is that not where we should be when we're talking about getting these recruits?
I want to point out that comment right there from Jack Lell. Things are changing, man. Players are leaving the state of Georgia to come to Rocky Top.
Is it just me, or are we absolutely crushing it on the recruiting trail? Now, we're outside the top 10 or maybe right in the top 10.
We are at number 10 as of this moment.
We're doing okay. But now, unfortunately, number 10 still means you're 6th or 7th in the SEC, so definitely room for improvement. But don't worry, we're in the mix for a lot of good guys. There is a comment that's probably on the Twitter feed, and I'm on the Instagram feed. He said Georgia in shambles. Oh, that's pretty good. But anyways, really good, big touted pickup for Inge. That shows me great things about him. Tim Banks, obviously, Josh Heupel, doing some work in the recruiting trail. But George McIntyre commented on Twitter and said, hey, surprise commit coming soon. And kind of excites me because I have a really good feeling about some of these guys, but that surprise one may be somebody that we wasn't thinking about committing. Could it be David Sanders? I don't know, man. 5-star offensive tackle. That would be awesome, man. But that would be something that would kind of help not just bump us way into the top 10, but also keep us there and finish with the top 10 recruiting cycle. But obviously, we did pick up George McIntyre. He was a 5-star. I think the number 2 could recruit when we recruited him. He's unfortunately fallen to a 4-star. It is what it is. I still think the guy's got the juice, and he's going to be there for us at the end of the day.
Yeah, and keeping things on the recruiting trail, but changing teams here. Karen Weekly is still doing it out on the recruiting trail, man. As Aubrey Barnhart, she says, I'm coming home now. So a big pickup there for Karen Weekly out of the transfer portal. I forget where she was beforehand. I think she was with Texas Tech, maybe. I'd have to do research on that just to clarify. But another big pickup out of the portal for Karen Weekly's squad. Man, Tennessee is doing it at every single sport, man.